Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Spycast. This is episode 2. I know it's been a while since episode 1, but, I've been busy. 6 months ago, I posted the Spycast episode 1, which I talked about my top 10 favorite video games, which was fun. But that was also for a school project, but it was kind of an excuse to start the podcast that I've been wanting to do for a while. But yeah, so this is episode 2, and today we're going to be talking about what media I am currently using. So this is going to be kind of a broad term because media can be a lot of things. Social media, social media is the one people usually think of when they hear media. But I'm not going to be just talking about social media, but a good portion of it is going to be social media. So let's just dive right into it. And I'm thinking I'm going to make these episodes a lot shorter than episode 1, which was an hour long. But that was also a big topic, and I had a lot to talk about because video games are very important to me, which we'll get into in a little bit. But let's talk about what current social media platforms I've been using. So for the longest time, I've been on Instagram. I think Instagram and YouTube are the ones that I've been on the longest. I think YouTube, I got YouTube and Instagram, I think, like 5th or 4th grade. I remember being super excited to get YouTube because I wanted to become a YouTuber at the time. And I think I created Instagram not long after. It's just kind of been my go-to for social media. I've never used Facebook. I have it, but I think for a lot of people in our generation, Facebook is kind of the thing you have to check in on relatives, like, older relatives, family, friends, grandparents, cousins, aunts and uncles. So that's what I use it for. And I don't post there. But yeah, Facebook is a social media I don't use anymore or at all. And Instagram is kind of my go-to when it comes to actual posting of pictures and stuff besides YouTube. I recently actually deleted TikTok and Twitter off my phone. I just felt like Twitter and TikTok were very dangerous for me when it comes to doom scrolling. If you don't know what doom scrolling is, it's basically when you get trapped in the loop of scrolling through your timeline and just getting caught in it, if that makes sense. So like you open TikTok and you sit down, you're like, I'm just going to watch a few TikToks, and then an hour later you're still on it. So I fell into that a good bit, especially late at night when I'm laying in bed waiting to go to sleep or get tired. I'll just open TikTok and just scroll. So I did get rid of that. I don't know. I'm seeing how I react to not having it. I mean, I didn't realize how often I opened my phone just to click on TikTok. I found myself opening a random app trying to click where my TikTok was, which is very strange because I didn't think I use it that much, but I guess I did. So maybe it's a good thing I got rid of it. TikTok, just social media addiction can be a lot for a lot of people. My mental health as it is not great, but I think getting rid of TikTok was a good thing because the amount of garbage that is on that app is not fun. Because I think the thing that made me do that was I watched a video recently where it talks about how social media is ruining this generation and how people our age are so absorbed in their self-image that they'll do anything for videos, and it's saddening to look at because it's true. I've seen it firsthand how social media can ruin people, and I don't want to be like that. Now, I don't think I would end up like that. I've never been one for being an attention hog, doing crazy things for TikTok just for views. I've never done that. I would post TikToks of me using filters because it was funny. That was basically all I would do, which, I mean, it's fine. But, it's the principle of the thing. And Twitter, I didn't really use Twitter that much. I had it mostly for sports, and friends who used it, I just used it to look at their tweets. I didn't use it that often, so it wasn't that big of a deal for me to get rid of. Also, Elon Musk is kind of a clown, so I don't want to support him anyways. Also, why did they change it to X? I just want to talk about it for just a second. Why did they change Twitter to X? I hate the way society is going nowadays, where everything needs to be oversimplified to sell. You know, I don't really know much about what it is or just why, but it's just so stupid. Twitter has been there for so long, and it was a platform everyone knew, and then they're like, oh, you know, it would be cool. Let's change it to X because that sounds unique and modern. It's very stupid, and I'm glad I got rid of it. And YouTube, as you may know, I've had YouTube for a long time. Been on the YouTube platform since I was in elementary school or middle school, probably like 4th, 5th grade, or maybe even 3rd. Honestly, it's been a long time. My roots of YouTube were, I've noticed, actually pretty similar to a lot of people's. I did Lego stop motion animations when I first started. So that was my origin story on YouTube. It was a different username. I wasn't Spy Master Jimmy. That came around middle school. My original YouTube name was The Top Hat Master. Now, there's a whole story behind that, and I'll give you the brief explanation. So I was big into Lego stop motion animations, and there was this animator, and I think it was called Hamster Productions. I'm pretty sure that's the name of that YouTuber, and I think he's still around. I don't know if he does it anymore. I haven't watched his videos in a long time, but he was my inspiration to get on the platform and do Lego stop motion animations. And his profile picture was a Lego dude with a top hat. So I was very unoriginal, and I was like, you know what, let's copy this dude's idea and make the Top Hat Master. And I thought it was so cool. Yeah, so Lego stop motion animations for a while, until I think I started a little phase where I tried to do vlogs, which nobody watched, and I'm glad, because they weren't good. That was kind of when the vlog era was kicking on. Everyone was doing vlogs. I used to watch big vloggers back in the day, like the Shaytards, Roman Atwood. I remember he was one I watched a lot. I used to watch Dan TDM's vlogs back in the day. They were big inspirations for me back then. And then it switched over to gaming once I was able to. I think it all started once I got Minecraft. That's kind of what kicked off my gaming, like, content creation. So yeah, Minecraft started, and then got my own laptop, and that's the rest is history. Editing. I got into video editing probably. I know I got it in middle school, where I used to make edits on Vine. That's my roots of my editing core. It was Vine. I used to create cringy, like, fan fiction edits for Undertale, because that was the kind of person I was at that time. And that's kind of what kicked off my editing obsession. I still love editing to this day, but it wasn't. It's kind of simmered down, and I've kind of expanded off just the editing aspect, which is fine. But I do enjoy editing every once in a while. My last video was actually an edit I made for my good friend and cousin. It's a little embarrassing. I'm forgetting the name. Well, Alec Tilley. I know that's his name, but his YouTube was Action Filmist. That's the name of his YouTube. I did a tribute edit of that, which was awesome. He's really cool. You check him out. Shout out. But yeah, that's kind of my YouTube thing. Everything spawns off YouTube for me. Spotify, I guess this counts as media, I guess. I'm a big music guy. I've always loved music. It's always been something that has been a part of my personality. I was a choir kid throughout high school. I did a band in middle school. I did a lot of singing, and especially in high school. I was in the choir. Was in their higher ranked choir, which is kind of crazy to think about, because I didn't do choir in middle school, and a lot of people I was in that class with did choir in middle school. But honestly, I kind of think it's because I was a bass, and it's not hard to be a bass. I'm just gonna say it now. It's a lot harder to be a tenor. I think that's what they are: bass, baritone, tenor, alto, soprano. Yeah, yeah. So I was kind of a bass baritone. If you don't know what baritone is, it's kind of between bass and tenor. So yeah. Spotify music. I love music. I could do a whole other episode on music, and I probably will. So I'm not going to talk too much on Spotify, but that is media I am consuming. And that's kind of it for social media aspects. Now, this isn't a special, only social media episode, but when we're talking about media, you kind of have to talk about social media, but there's a lot of other kinds of media out there. So yeah, there's lots of different types of media: social media, digital media. I'm looking up right now: videos, movies, broadcasting, mass media, television. These are interesting. I didn't know some of these counted as quote unquote media, but I mean videos and movies. Videos kind of YouTube. Movies. I'm kind of a film major, but I'm a video production major. But there's a lot of film aspects with that. So I do short films for classes and stuff. So that's a big thing I do. Broadcasting. If you guys don't know, I don't think I've publicly talked about this on my YouTube, but I recently started a job at my local school's radio station, which is really cool. And kind of the reason I've got into doing the podcast is because I have access to this kind of stuff now. My first episode was actually recorded at the station in one of their booths, but now I have a nicer, I recently bought a nicer mic, quote unquote, a nicer mic, and I'm at my apartment right now where I'm recording this. So audio is definitely something I've recently gotten a lot more interested in. And I've also been interested in voice acting for a while, which is really cool. Voice acting's a lot of fun to do as a little side gig. And I kind of want to do that a lot more because I think voice acting is really cool, and it allows you to act. And I love acting, but I have the face for a voice actor. You know, it's a lot easier to do voice acting. That could be debated, but I think it's a lot easier to just focus on, you know, how you speak and not how you speak, how you walk, your gestures, facial expressions, all that. When it comes to real acting, I think voice acting, there's definitely a lot to it, but it's a lot easier, and it's pretty fun to hear your voice in projects, which is awesome. You know, I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of media. Other media, video games. I'm just going to talk about that because I think video games are media. Now, I've been playing I've played video games ever since I was young. You guys know that from the last episode. The video games that I've been currently playing through, my video game routine is very strange because I usually go through 2-week ruts of video game addictions. It's kind of like how people have 2-week Minecraft addictions. I have those all the time. But currently I've been playing Persona a lot. Persona has been kind of my big game obsession over the past 1.5 or 2 years now. No, it's been a 1.5 probably. It started with Persona 5, and I beat that, which was so amazing. Such a good game. I recommend it to everyone. It has amazing music, amazing story, amazing characters. And then I played Persona 3, which I didn't beat, but they're going to be re-releasing it and remastering it, so it kind of made me think, like, why am I putting my energy into finishing this one when I could play the new one? So I recently started playing Persona 4 Golden, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. And a lot of my music taste comes from Persona right now. I've listened to a lot of the Persona soundtrack, which you're like, oh my gosh, video game music is so cringe. But no, I think their music is some of the best in video game history, and you can fight me about that all day. And yeah, I think it has an amazing soundtrack. Other games I've been playing recently, I sometimes go through The Sims. I've been playing The Sims a little bit recently. I don't know. It's a little bit of just a other game I can play besides Persona. The games I've downloaded, I recently beat Marvel Spider-Man's Miles Morales for the first time because I don't have a PlayStation, so I can't play it there. So I recently got it for my computer and played that, beat it, which is a great game. Left 4 Dead 2, on and off, playing that. Minecraft. I haven't touched Minecraft in a while, but I'm sure I'll have a Minecraft obsession sooner or later. Roller Coaster Tycoon was a game that was playing a little bit of about a few weeks ago through an obsession, and then that's kind of died off. So yeah, pretty much the games I'm playing right now is Persona and The Sims. Those are the only real two games I play. I usually don't play a lot of different games at the same time because I have a hard time spreading my attention out. But that's probably why I lose interest in games, because I play one game so much that I overwork myself and make it so it's more of a chore to play it, and then I just stop playing. So I probably should fix how I do that, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. Let's talk about like because we talked about my favorite video games of all time. I kind of want to tell you guys what my like all-time played games are on Steam, which is crazy to think about. Like, the most hours played from my first and second, there's almost an entire 1,000-hour, or no, what is that? Yeah, almost an entire 1,000-hour difference between my first and second game, which is absolutely crazy to me because I don't think I've played it that much. But Garry's Mod is my first all-time hour played game at 1,500 hours, which is crazy to think about because the next game is TF2, which is at 633 hours. Like, that's ridiculous. I mean, I kind of can see why, but also I'm sure Minecraft, my hours on Minecraft are so much more, but I don't know how to check that, which, oh well. But I play Garry's Mod a lot, especially Star Wars RP. That's kind of the one I play. Or those are some of the ones that I go through like ruts of being addicted for a while. I had one of those this summer where I played Star Wars RP for a while. And I know it's kind of nerdy and there's a lot of hate, which I can see the hate. There's definitely a lot of bad eggs in the community, but you know, I'm a big Star Wars guy, so it's a lot of fun. So yeah. There's not a lot more to talk about with video games that I haven't already talked about. And since the episodes are going to be a lot shorter, they're probably going to be at least 15 minutes per episode. You know, just kind of like a quick talk about, you know, check up on my life. I guess I can, you know, every episode I could talk about what's happened since last episode. Now, since my last episode, a lot has happened. You know, last episode I was in my second semester of my sophomore year of college, and now I'm my first semester of my junior year. So it was last semester I was here. And it's currently November 5th when I'm recording this. And the last episode came out, what is it, like May? 6 months ago. So yeah, it was a while ago. And a lot's changed, but also not a lot. I'm still a student, but I do have a job now. As I talked about, I work at the radio station, which is really cool. And I'm in charge of some segments, or at least I know I'm in charge of one segment, and I work together with other people for another segment. I'm in charge of a segment called Showstoppers, which is a Broadway musical segment, the 1 hour segment every Saturday at 6, which is really cool. I didn't think I'd be into Broadway music that much when signing up, but I don't know. It's fun. I actually really enjoy it. I've heard a lot of songs that I haven't listened to, and there's a lot of good musicals out there. And I've always loved musical theater. I mean, I've been to 4 Broadway plays in New York City, so I guess you could say I do like it. I've never really performed in an actual performance though. Like, I've been in a choir performance for Les Miserables, but it was kind of different. I did try out, or I don't know if it's audition. That's the word, audition for my senior year play. But that was when COVID hit, and the restrictions for number of people who could be it were really low, so I didn't get in. I did get callback though. But there was a lot of miscommunication, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do for callbacks, so I was greatly underprepared, which was really embarrassing because I didn't know what I was doing. and I was called out to do a lot of things. But yeah, it is what it is. It was kind of sad, but you know, what can you do? So yeah, Showstoppers, that's what I do. And I also do Weekend Jazz, which I recently, quote unquote, got promoted to do. They were just like, you want more responsibilities, you can give you some more responsibilities, because I was only in charge of a 1 hour segment every week, and now I do 2 segments every week, which is fun. And you know, I work the maximum of 20 hours a week, so I mean, it's not a busy job. I get to choose my hours. I go in whenever I want. I just have to get the work done, which is really nice for me, because you know, my schedule is kind of wacky. I go in usually in the mornings and then go to class, which works well for me because it gives me a reason not to sleep in and be productive. So yeah, that's that. I have a job now. Social life is pretty non-existent right now, which is fine, but I'm trying to fix that. A lot of things have happened in my personal life that I'm not going to talk about here, but have caused me a lot of problems with my mental health. I'm going to be real with you guys, but I'm okay. I promise you guys, I am okay. I do have bad patches, but it is what it is. So everyone has it. I'm not going to act like no one else has what I have. But it is what it is. So I'm going to end the episode here, because this is everything I've talked about, and I kind of want to shorten the episodes to a more an easier time for people to listen, because nobody really wants to listen to 60 minutes of me talking about my favorite video games. 20 minutes I think is a more reasonable time frame for what I have to talk about, since I am on my own for the podcast, which I hope to get more people in the podcast in the future, but we'll see how that goes. But this might be just my solo podcast, and I could do another one with people I know, which would be cool. Oh, speaking of which, I actually, for one of my classes, I am part of a podcast for my school's radio station. We're called The Spot, where we talk about what you're talking about. It's a good podcast. It's pretty fun to work with, which is another reason why I wanted to do this. So, yeah. All right, but I appreciate you guys listening to this podcast, episode 2. If you guys did, please like and subscribe, and let me know what I should talk about next. And have a wonderful day.